Hello.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. How are you doing?
I'm doing really well, thank you very much.
Oh, that's good.
It seems as if a million years have gone by since I talked to you last.
Yeah, yeah.
So much has happened. It's amazing.
That's great. That's great. You look great. Well, at least it's like, not too early, not 6 o'clock in the morning, right?
Yeah.
So tell me what has happened since
Oh
Jolene.
my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay. I had a doctor's appointment
Yeah,
when I spoke with you last a couple of days ago, and I had to wait like an hour.
yeah,
Usually I would go marble, my time's valuable too. What the heck?
yeah,
So finally gets in, and this doctor was absolutely amazing. I mean, she was so sweet. And there's kind of a rule in Canada that's coming. You have one question for your doctor, right?
yeah.
Well, I asked her, I had a blood test done, and I asked her like over many, and she was so calm and patient, and she just kept
Oh,
answering all my questions.
that's beautiful.
And and then and then I went out to get the prescription, and the guy looked at me and he said, "Oh," I said, "when will it be ready?" "Oh, 1 minute." I looked at him, that's never happened. It's usually half an hour wait.
Yeah.
So I got that, and wherever I went, I noticed that people were so extra kind. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah,
Like everybody was just beyond sweet.
yeah,
And then the next day, um, I I woke up and I was really angry. I
yeah, yeah,
mean,
yeah. Usually it's the next
anger,
day,
like
right? Yeah.
curling my toes, anger. I went to the computer and I wasn't even looking for you,
Yeah.
but somehow I got you, and you were doing a one-on-one with Donna,
Okay. Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
Donna was laughing, and she said, "I'm a new woman. You changed my life."
Yeah.
And and she's and then I'm going, I'm so jealous. I want to be that woman.
Yeah, yeah,
And then I thought, well, that's ridiculous. This is a woman who's just having so much fun. Why don't I just have fun with her?
yeah,
So I just watched you laughing with her. And it was great. And the anger had just gone.
yeah,
So I just really wanted to drive to the countries. I'm a farm girl. So
yeah,
I got in my car and I missed the road that I thought that I would go to because I had
yeah.
kind of a plan. Huh, missed that. So I said, well, I'll take the next one. And I took this next road, took me out in the country, and there was detour, 4 detours in 10 minutes.
Oh,
And
wow.
I went, well, wait wait a minute. And I thought, well, that's the story of my life. Detour here,
Yeah,
that just, and then there's this straightaway. And now I'm on the straightaway. And I'm going, yeah, that's like a metaphor for me.
yeah.
And so I had this beautiful day, beautiful drive out in the country, got totally lost, didn't care.
That's great.
And had just this wonderful time. I came back, and Vanessa and I went out to lunch, and something has lifted. I don't know what it is, but
Yeah,
I feel really lighter
yeah,
inside.
yeah,
And today I went for coffee and I parked by the lake. We live on Lake Monte Vista, and we're just like, half a block from the lake. So I
yeah.
parked, and there's this beautiful tree with its leaves
Oh, yeah,
dancing
yeah,
away. And I was watching that tree, and all the leaves going like this, and then all of a sudden there's calm, and
yeah.
all the leaves are quiet. But the core of the tree is never bothered by the leaves.
That's right.
It's totally calm and still.
Yeah,
And there was sun peeking up, and I said, God, this is heaven. This
it is. Yeah,
right here, nothing more is needed.
that's right. Yeah,
And from where I saw you 2 days ago,
yeah,
it's like I can't, it's like hard to believe it. And then I heard this, well, when the student is ready, the teacher appeared. You're not a teacher, you're
Oh,
more a guide.
yeah,
And I thought, that's right, because I just am done with me, no me contract. I'm done with that.
yeah.
I can't handle that. Then like, what
We can even
for?
change that when you want to get out, the guide appears.
Yeah, yeah,
This way.
exactly, exactly. So I am having so much fun. I can't, I've actually, I think I've been depressed for
Yeah.
maybe 20 years. I'm sure of it.
Oh, wow.
And
Yeah.
I just haven't felt any joy at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
And I'm just waiting to die, basically.
Yeah.
That's it. I get up in the morning, wash my face, do my
Yeah.
thing, wait for the day to end, and repeat the
Oh,
same thing, wash and
that's gonna
repeat the
make me
same
cry.
thing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. I know that
now
feeling
I just
too before when I got depressed. I'm just waiting for it to be over.
yeah,
Right. Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah. Yeah.
exactly. And today I went to the mall to get my tickets test because used to be a lotto person, and now I'm thinking that's a waste of time. Really.
Yeah.
There's this little tiny baby about a year old, and the mom took it to see the kitty cats, and this
Okay.
child is laughing just like
Oh,
child, and I burst out into laughter. I couldn't believe it because it was having so much fun. Just
yeah.
and I go, it seems like that's what life is about. That
Yeah.
just that.
Yeah. When I see babies, right? The baby looks at me, and I look at the baby and it's almost like there's a silent thing that this is like this is a joke at the same time, but it's just, I don't know how to explain it, right? But there's
Yeah,
just this
yeah,
innocence in
yeah,
everything.
yeah,
And
exactly.
and it's just and it's not serious.
Yeah,
Nothing is
no,
serious.
no.
And then if you notice, right, you go to teachers and speakers and
Mm.
everything, and they take it too seriously.
Oh God. I was so serious about everything, and I did
Yeah.
try so hard. And another beautiful thing that I want to share is I went for my coffee, and the lady looked at me and she said, "It's a beautiful day, just like you." And
Oh.
and never in my life has anybody said that to me that I recall. I'm sure maybe,
Oh,
but I
wow.
don't
Yeah.
recall because the Catholic Church did a number with "You Are Not Worthy." And
Yeah.
then I was married to a wanderer for 31 years.
Yeah.
And so I had I felt no self-worth, nothing, nothing.
Oh.
I felt like I was like nothing.
Yeah.
And when she said that, I just I, I couldn't let it in. It
Yeah.
just went in just a tiny bit.
Yeah.
But I'm starting to believe that I am worthy,
You are. And
that, that there is something of value here,
yeah.
and not from a sense of that, but just something intrinsic valuable here.
Yeah. And you know what? And that's when I started seeking too, right? Is because I I wanted to be of value. I felt so ashamed and unworthy of,
Yeah,
just existing, right?
yeah.
And so I get you. Yeah, so you look beautiful, by the way. Something I'd said, a new haircut, that I was saying. Take it in. You do, and that color looks great on you, right? It's like you know, yeah, take it in, take it in, take it in. Yeah. And you look beautiful. Like, you're 88 years old, right? If you remember.
Thank
Wow.
you.
You don't even
Thank
have
you.
wrinkles.
Oh yeah, I do. I do
No,
if you
no.
look close. But
I
they're
don't see it.
okay. I love them too. They're good. I mean, with 88 years of living, come on, you can have
Yeah.
a wrinkle or two.
Yes, right. You know what? It's beautiful though. Yeah. You
Thank
look
you.
vibrant, so it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's such a life changer, huh? Kind of like
Oh,
that Donna was saying, right? It changed my life. She
yeah,
messaged me actually. It's such a beautiful,
yeah,
she said, this has really changed everything for
yeah,
me. And
Yeah,
and
I feel that too. Just like everything, even oh, and last night my mind, I'm an insomniac. I don't sleep.
yeah,
And so I've tried everything. I've tried sleeping pills, I've tried gummies, and I'm having a little now, but it doesn't work.
yeah,
It just doesn't work. I don't sleep.
yeah,
So, and my mind was going around and round and round
yeah,
like really fast. And oh, tell Emerson that and tell Emerson that. And you should tell him, I mean, I got 50 years to tell you
yeah,
things, you know?
yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
I go, get a grip. Who cares? Anybody who could probably care about that shit. It was too funny. So
Yeah,
I don't sleep. So what? I still seem to be okay.
yeah,
And
yeah,
maybe I'll sleep again and maybe I won't. So what?
yeah. It's just what it is, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it's just and this is just like, like not to give any carrot or anything. This is just a never-ending unfolding, right? So you never get stuck with anything. One
yeah,
day, I'm saying it's like this, one day it's like that. It's beautiful, the contrasts,
yeah.
right? I know about the trees because I love trees. Now I can look at my window and look
Mm,
at a tree for
yeah.
and then when my dog was
Mm,
walking, my dog has favorite trees, so I started naming the trees. So there's one called Trevor. There's one called Teresa, which is my favorite tree. I always
yeah,
sit under the Teresa.
yeah.
Life
I
is just so
remember,
full of wonder. Yeah,
yeah. I remember Tony saying many, many times, "You've never seen a tree." And I go, "What do you mean I've never seen a tree? I lived on a farm, I see trees all the time, and
yeah,
now I really get what
yeah,
he means by
yeah,
that." Because
yeah,
this morning I
yeah,
finally saw this tree.
yeah.
And
Beautiful,
it's
isn't
not
it?
like I became one with the tree or any of that
Yeah,
bullshit. I
yeah,
just somehow saw this tree. I can't
yeah,
explain it.
yeah. It's beautiful. I used to just look at trees and just get mesmerized by the movements of the leaves, right? And the stillness of the tree at the same time, right? So,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
also love water. Like when I see a lake,
Oh, me
oh,
too.
right?
Yeah,
I can just sit there for hours.
yeah.
I went to a friend's house and he has a beautiful view of the lake, right? And he was like, Emerson, I've been calling you for the past, 2 minutes. I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm just caught up, in the ocean, in the lake, in Lake
Yeah,
Ontario. And he
yeah.
goes, you were not hearing what I was saying? I'm like, no, I was just, you know, because when you go like that, he knows what I do, right? He kind of like
Mm.
he's also had, clarity. Because when you go like that, does your mind completely go away? And I'm like, what mind?
Yeah,
Yeah, so there's this movement and stillness that's happening
yeah,
at the same time, right?
yeah.
And that's what you are. That's what everything is without your idea
Mhm.
of it.
Yeah,
So everything doesn't become anything. It's already what it is. Yeah. Yeah.
and when I'm driving in the car, I always have the radio on, news.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah,
And
you were telling me about your
I
politics.
totally shut the radio off. And
Yeah.
for the first time, I'm in a car with no radio. And I'm going, this is cool. I hear the tires and I go,
Yeah.
wow, look at this. And I saw a fence painted red. Never in my life did I see a fence painted red. And I'm going, whoa, whoa.
That's the same. You know what? I have a fascination with red. I don't know if you hear me talk about it. My phone is red, you know, my watch is red, you know,
Red,
that I should
it's
be
red.
wearing. You read there. One day I was walking and it was just a beautiful summer day, right? Kind of like humid, but air, it's perfect, perfect. Like it's almost like the air is thick and everything. And I saw something from a far distance that really interested me. I'm like, what is that? So I just kept on walking and walking and walking. And then until I got close to it, it was just a stop sign. I was mesmerized by a stop sign. And that's when I started loving red, right? I'm like, I love
Oh,
that color. right? Not even the word stop, but just, and it's also symbolic because that's when my thoughts stopped, right? Because I could not even figure out what it was. Like,
Mm,
what's that over there?
mm,
Just walking, walking, walking. The most, it just blended with the whole, picturesque summer thing, right?
mhm.
And and I love walking so much, now, right? So this morning I cried at the sunrise again. I don't know how many times I've cried at the sunrise. So it never really, what people say that, are you always like this though? I'm like, well, there's going to be contrasts that happen. There's going to be days that are sunny. There's going to be
Uh-huh.
days that it's stormy,
Mm,
right? But no matter
mm,
what the days are, there's a
mhm.
peace with it.
Yeah,
There's a calmness to it. There's a tranquility that I've never
yeah,
really felt
yeah.
before because it's not a feeling.
No,
It's what always
no,
is. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So what else has been going on with you? It's quite an adventure, for the past 2 days. After 20 years of depression, right?
Yeah, no kidding, eh?
Like Lazarus, right? You rose from the dead.
Exactly. That's what it feels like. It just feels, everything just feels so new, as if I've I've never seen it before. It's like strange. It's strange and beautiful and wonderful.
Yeah.
Just just I'm doing a puzzle and the colors are so phenomenal. They're just,
Yeah.
and I've done this puzzle like twice already. And I didn't notice. I mean, a piece goes here, a piece goes here, like that, eh? And I picked up a piece the other day and I went, look at this piece. It's so beautiful. The
Yeah.
pattern on it is exquisite, and the colors are just
Yeah.
just a puzzle piece.
Yeah. It's the smallest mundane ordinary things, right? For me, for
Mm.
me it's the foliage. It's like I would look at the grass and it has a dewdrop and my heart skips a beat. I'm like, "Oh, I'm in love with that dewdrop," or you go closer and you're like, "Oh, it's like a whole bunch of universes, in the dewdrop, right? It's so beautiful."
Yeah.
There's an
And
infiniteness in the world without the words.
yeah.
It's infinite, right? It's like, for example, one day I'm walking and I'm like, "Oh, I never saw a tree house before, in that neighborhood, right?" And I looked
Uh-huh.
at it for like maybe a good 10 minutes. I'm like, "Damn, a lot of work has gone into this
Yeah.
tree house.
Yeah.
And how come I didn't notice it for the past 20
Exactly.
years?"
Exactly. There was a little tiny, I think it was a wasp, baby wasp.
Yeah,
And I was sitting on the sofa and it was walking across on the floor. And usually any bug that comes in my house, bang,
yeah,
gone, you're
yeah,
gone.
yeah,
And I looked at this little, and I said, well, I know what it's like to struggle. I really understand that. So I took a piece of paper, climbed on the paper, and I took it out and put it in my petunias.
Oh,
And it just felt not like I was doing it to be a good person. It
yeah, yeah,
wasn't that at
yeah,
all. It was just I I I I felt with that little form of life and I understood something that never ever would have dawned on me before.
yeah. Wow, that's
And maybe
beautiful.
I'll smash another bug. I don't know.
That's right. Yeah.
It's not like I'm going to go and save all the bugs in the world.
That's right. Yeah. It's life comes really randomly, right? And it's unexpected. And
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
just automatic. You look at things automatic without even thinking. It's not like you
exactly.
you develop a high morality now that
Yeah,
you know that
yeah,
no
no,
wasp should die. No
no,
wasp no wasp left behind, like you
no.
have this new movement.
And it brought such joy to my heart to do that.
Yeah.
And just joy. And today while I was in the mall, there was this man sitting there. So I went over and I said, hi, what's happening? And he said, I'm a fireman and um, I'm raising money for burned kids camp. And I went, oh, I've never heard of that. We had this long conversation. I said, how do kids get burned anyway?
Yeah.
And he said, house fires, sometimes scalding, sometimes this, sometimes that. And so I opened my wallet and I said, I'll give you all I have. And I had $100 to give him that. And
Oh,
he was so appreciative because 99.9% of the people walk right by, pretend to don't see him.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And he was just, we had the best conversation. I learned about firefighters, and his
Oh,
dad was a
wow.
firefighter in Stratton, Ontario,
Oh,
and
wow.
and for 45 years. And he was a firefighter and worked with the helicopters way up north.
Oh,
And
wow.
he was so interesting. And I went, "God, like, this is beyond weird." Because before I would have been like,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
want something from me, forget it. I'm out of here. Especially if you
yeah,
want money. I'm
yeah,
kind of a tightwad in some
yeah.
aspects.
Beautiful. Yeah.
And it just like, I was going, what's happening to me? I don't recognize me.
Same here, right? Because it's I've always helped before. I've always been the kind of person that would stop at a homeless person. But when I became spiritual, it became my practice. It became my
Mhm.
selfless service.
Right, right.
And then one time I stopped. I'm like, what am I doing this for then?
Yeah,
It's not genuine anymore, right? It's not coming. I'm doing it for my spiritual gain.
yeah, 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 yeah.
And I was doing that, and I that's when I kind of got freaked out,
Yeah,
and that was one of those red flags for me that was happening, right? Because in the beginning I was earnest about it, but this
yeah.
second time around, I was walking down a homeless shelter, and I said, I'm gonna buy some socks. It's cold. It's cold. My feet's cold with my sock. Imagine people with old
Those,
socks.
mm,
So yeah, so every year now, you know what I'm saying, without any fanfare, like I'll buy like 500 socks, you know what I'm saying,
mm,
and just
nice,
just a little part of it, right?
nice.
But
Yeah,
without any kind of I'm being righteous or I'm being,
and have to.
and have to and everything.
Yeah,
It was just like it's cold.
yeah,
Someone would appreciate this kind of thing,
yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
The way that I would basically tell my brother, I'm like, hey, do you want my socks? You're cold, right? So that Emerson that's always been that way, you know what I'm saying, just
Hmm.
shows up, right? So not because I'm spiritual, not because I'm non-dual,
Right,
just
right.
just because, right? So
Just
or
because. Yeah,
maybe I'll walk away from it one day and just not care.
yeah, yeah.
That's also it.
I watched one of your one-on-ones this morning for about 10 minutes with, I think his name is Ramon. He's a doctor in Hungary.
I can't remember. But yeah. Oh, the doc.
Anyway,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. He's great.
yeah,
That
yeah.
guy. Yeah,
And got a beard,
yeah,
35.
yeah.
And he just kept asking him, what's between this and that?
Hmm.
And he was so quiet and he didn't answer you. He just like, you could see he was really turning,
Yeah,
trying to figure out.
yeah.
And you kept at it for maybe 5 minutes, and then he burst into laughter. And he looked around. I watched him looking around the room, and he said, something is different, and I can't tell you what it is.
Hmm. Yeah.
And his face, just there was this radiance that, and I'm just like watching and wonder how you're able to do that. That's like magic to me. So,
I
like,
don't
don't
know.
ever stop doing one-on-one.
Oh
Please, please, please.
no, I won't. I won't. Yeah,
Because it seems, I don't know, there's just something with the one-on-ones that's different than a residential for me, just over here.
yeah. Yeah, you know what? And people have been saying that like before I started speaking, I was already doing the one-on-ones on the side. So I would notice that this person has been seeking for like 10, 20 years. I'm usually
Mm,
go for the people that's been there for a long time.
mm,
And before I started speaking, there are probably like about 20, maybe like 20 people that have already stopped seeking in the hush hush kind of way because I'm not really a speaker, right?
You're
I'm
not
just
advertising.
no, 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 no. So when I got the opportunity to speak, at first I was very reluctant at it, right? Because I'm like, you know what? I don't want this to be a spiritual. I was a spiritual teacher before and, it wrecked my life and everything. And I really did have a good corporate job, right? So
Mm,
It's not for a lack of money or anything like that. It was not necessary for me. But my reluctance, um, and I think kind of like changed when people started saying me that please keep on doing this, right? Because I've been
Mm,
seeking for 10, 20 years and
yeah.
I have gone to so many different teachers and speakers
Hmm.
and somehow, saying you've got because maybe you've suffered so much that you want people out,
Mm.
right? And yeah, so every day now there's like I witness miracles every day.
You what?
I witness miracles every day, like you. What could be a better job, right?
Hmm.
What could be a better, and I'm honest with them. I don't string them along,
Hmm.
right? Don't I
That's what
don't
I appreciate so much. I
yeah,
appreciate that because I feel like I've been strung along for 50 years.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
I've been following the carrot that's been dangling in front of my nose.
yeah,
Oh, another retreat, another, oh, this will do it. Vipassana will do it.
yeah.
Arishanti will do it. On and on and on.
How many of those people have you followed? So almost all of them. You've gone to see them in person, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh wow. I'm even awkward when I do retreats before, right? Because so what I do with the retreats or the residentials that I have is I go all out so that people don't come back for a second one. It also helps that I'm an introvert, so I don't really like being in big crowds. You know what I'm
Once,
saying?
once and done.
Once and done, yeah.
I like it.
The last one that I did in Victoria, earlier this year, I was closer to you earlier this year. Um, Midway through it, I can't remember when. I just basically there was 100 people. I'm like, I'm gonna do one-on-one with everybody,
What?
right? Because you know what? I some people were there at the end of the rope. Basically, they just come from a community, I'm saying, that has been abusive and everything, so they don't even have money. There were
Wow.
there were people in my room because they could not afford the hotel room, so I just got a
Oh,
cot, and I just got everybody to stay in my room. you know.
wow.
And I'm like, you know what? It's okay. Use the room, right? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm
Yeah.
going to be doing one-on-ones. I'm going to be here like 10, 12 hours talking to people anyway, right? So
Wow.
I did my regular talk, and midway through it, I noticed that there's like 30 or 40 people missing in the room. And I'm
Oh,
like, oh, you know what? They probably didn't like what I'm doing and everything, the one-on-one. And although as much as I could, I did the regular talks, but I still did the one-on-one. So it's just more work on my part. Towards the end, a couple of people said, "Hey, Emerson, oh, I hope you don't mind, but we've done the seeking, so we just went on a tourist, tour." So they left the meeting midway. And they just went, they said they went to Fino, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? So they took the ferry and went to a different island just on a day tour
mhm.
because they didn't need to listen to me anymore. And I'm happy when I heard that.
Wow.
To me, that's
Cool.
that's the best, right? Because they don't
That
need me.
is the best. Yeah.
It's and then sometimes I wonder people are just really there, collecting followers, right? And because I don't want to tell someone that maybe next retreat it will happen to you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe next time, right? It's the same thing as saying maybe in another lifetime, right? It's
Hmm.
because
Hmm.
they go there, you know what? And people can say whatever they want, but people go to retreat hoping to end the seeking, hoping they will be the lucky lottery winner.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's
Some energy transfers will
yeah,
do it.
we'll
If I
do it. Yeah,
sit close enough to Tony, I'll
yeah,
get it.
yeah.
And even if he stands right up and says, "Hey, there's nothing to get," I
Yeah,
go, "Oh, he's holding
he's holding
something."
something. You know what? The energy will kick in any moment now. There, no, no, no. This is the last day of the 5D event. Oh, oh, okay. Maybe next time.
Yeah.
I didn't win the
Yeah.
lottery, right? I
Yeah.
was one more ball from bingo.
Exactly. I'm the queen of no winners when it comes to the
Yeah,
lotto. And I thought today, I was like, why am I doing this? If I had a big pile of money, would that make me happy? And I'm going, it would give me a lot of trouble because
Yeah.
there'd be a lot of people coming and saying, I want some of your money.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
then you can never give people enough. If you give them 10 grand, they want 20, you
Oh
know?
yeah, yeah,
And I'm going, I'd have all that trouble.
yeah.
I, I don't need that.
I have a person that's famous, right? That when this person became famous, he does one-on-one with me. And when this person became famous, he came from nothing here in Canada. I should not say that. He came from nothing. Anyway, so when he became super popular, really
Mm,
popular, like a household name basically, everybody wants something from him.
mm-hmm. Yep.
Everybody wants something from
Yep.
him, and everybody,
Exactly.
just everybody, like everywhere he goes, right?
Yep.
And
Yep.
and then when we met, he was just quite shocked and he goes, "You don't want anything from me, don't you?" I'm like, "Nope, no." He goes, "You don't even want your picture, No, I'm like, "No." I said,
Mm-hmm.
and he goes, people would know a lot, more about you if people know that we're friends or whatever."
Right.
I'm
Right.
like, "I don't really
Exactly.
want that right now." I said, "I like doing the one-on-ones. I
Right.
don't want the popularity, right? Because it will
Grab his
stop me from
coattails.
doing
Yeah.
doing this one-on-ones, which I love,
No.
right? So
Yeah.
that's why I don't like to like I've gotten so many invites now because people know now that I have a lot of subscribers, right? So
Mm.
people know that if I do an event, it will fill up.
Yeah.
Like the event that I did last time, I
Mm.
not even a week it was full, right? So I didn't even have to advertise it.
Wow.
But that's the only one that I did this year, and I probably won't do another one for
Yeah.
quite a while. I'll
Mm.
do it if there's people that are coming from cults, you know what I'm saying? That not the
Mm.
retreat, regular people that keeps on going to retreats and retreats and retreats. Um, yeah, I just don't see the point in it.
No.
I like the directness of
Oh,
the
yeah.
one-on-ones.
Yeah.
And
It seems
yeah,
to work very quickly. 'Cause when I watch your one-on-ones, it's like so amazing to me because every story is so different. And and yet the basic is the same. The seeker is a seeker is a seeker. But it's it's
it's all different,
how
isn't it?
can that be? Like it's like a fingerprint, I guess, eh?
Yeah.
Because my story is nothing like anybody else's,
Yeah,
nothing. And yet, we're still telling stories. So,
that's right. Yeah. There's young kids, like that are in their 20s, right? That gets this. Like there's this person that I thought this person is too young, but I didn't know that this person just came from a cult. For a year, this person was in a cult, community. And so this missing someone too young, they don't know what they've gone through. And this person hasn't even told me the extent of, and I know cults because
mm,
usually people come to me, or
mm,
recommend me when there's a person that has been in a community that's abusive, right? Because to be able to, you know what, because everything out there, not everything, but most of people out there are on a pedestal,
yep,
are on an authority figure.
absolutely.
Even if you say that there's no one there, that's also another pedestal.
Yep, yep, yeah, yeah, yeah.
There's no me as a pedestal, right? So
Mhm,
um
mhm,
so yeah, I'm getting a lot of those people, and this person suffered so much, and there's another person that was I was talking to, a young kid again, went through debilitating depression, and I didn't even know that or people that were suicidal, right? There should be no prerequisites, what I'm trying to say,
mhm.
of what this is, the waking up to this or the dropping away or whatever you might want to call it,
Yeah, yeah.
because this is our inherent thing, the clarity,
Mhm.
right? we
I
just
hope.
get we just get confused and follow others
Mhm.
discussing what it should be, when it does should not be anyone's business or anyone's
No,
idea of what this
no.
is. Yeah,
So, Emerson, when Tony says you can have all the understanding in the world, it's not going to get you anything. You just
yeah,
have
yeah,
understanding. But I think that's a little, I don't know the difference between clarity and understanding. Could
yeah.
you? to
Yeah,
speak
for
on that?
sure. So what's between clarity and understanding? What's in between? Yeah,
Nothing,
it's
nothing,
just words.
nothing. Yeah.
It's just words. So that's when happens is when, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what happens when we buy, a speaker's statement,
Um,
is because we think that they know something, right? And they think that they know something. And then that's when they become stuck, because
yeah.
they get stuck in their own statements.
Yeah.
They don't see that the statements like that are just irrelevant.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So for,
it just becomes the greatest hits of sayings of someone's.
right,
But what are sayings of
exactly.
someone
Yeah.
other than just made up stuff, right?
Yeah. Because for so many years I'm going, I don't understand. I don't understand. I just don't understand.
Yeah.
And and then that's the same with I do understand. I do understand.
Exactly. I understand. I don't understand. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just a thought. Yeah.
And it's all bullshit.
It's all bullshit. Yeah. The difference is they believe the bullshit,
Okay.
which is still bullshit. Uh,
Oh my goodness.
well, much love, there's merit to it. When you hear that there's no me immediately, right? There's almost kind of like a, oh, wow, right?
Yeah.
But when that becomes your mantra, when that becomes your belief system,
Yeah.
then it becomes um depressing, because you'll
Yeah.
never get there.
And it's irrelevant
It's
whether
irrelevant.
there's a me or no me.
It's irrelevant, yeah, because it's
Who
just words.
cares?
It's a word trying to get to another word.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who
Yeah.
cares?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a bullshit, a better
Mm.
bullshit, but it's still bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally. Totally.
Oh, that bullshit sounds better, right? There's no me, but it's still
Yeah.
bullshit, right? So
My bullshit's better than your bullshit.
that's right. Yeah.
Oh my
And that's
goodness.
what it is. And that's why they keep on defending their bullshit, because they believe in their bullshit.
Yeah.
And they'll put down somebody else's bullshit, which is also bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. For me, it's all
Oh,
bullshit, including what I say is bullshit, but at least I admit it, you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? But in between bullshit and bullshit, there's something that you can't speak about, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's all I do. Yeah. It's not
There's
my
such,
teaching, it's not my belief. It's just the guide, basically. You're right. It's like guiding into something
yeah.
that already is, right? So
It's just such a relief to hear you say that.
yeah.
Such, oh, because I sensed it, but I always thought, well, maybe, maybe I'm wrong, they're smarter, and they're on that pedestal, and they know better. I'm probably one that's full of bullshit.
Well, they're better at the bullshit than you, because they've convinced a whole bunch of people they're bullshit, right? So
But oh God, and there's such bull makes me mad to think that there's such bullshit going around, and
yeah,
so many of us buy into it. But that's just part of it
that's
too.
part of it. Yeah, yeah, that's part of
That's
it.
not a big deal.
No, no,
It's a,
no.
and truly, it seemed like this character needed the bullshit for as long as
Yeah. Well, you look
it served me in some stupid
you
way.
you look at
Yeah,
the speaker, and saying you look at the speaking as the leaves rumbling, moving, but there's something really still there.
yeah,
Yeah, just like the tree. Yeah. So it could be all bullshit, or something, but there's something that's really still, that you don't know, that no one knows about, right? And that's what they're trying to express. But they get caught up in their bullshit sometimes. And they don't
yeah,
even know that their bullshit is hurting, right? A lot of people are getting them
yeah,
stuck, right? So
yeah.
because they believe their bullshit, rather than being open and say, hey, you know
Mm,
what? Jollene, this is your fifth meeting, I'm saying. Maybe you should just go, up to a trip sometimes without any of this speaking. Enjoy life. That's what I
mm,
would say, right?
mhm,
Because I'm not operating from that scarcity thing that
yeah,
if you come to the thing, you know what I'm saying? I've lost everything already. I don't have anything to lose. I know how it is to lose everything.
mm,
I was with, I had that the pinnacle, the top, the summit of enlightenment, where people were basically worshiping me and kissing my feet, and I was not comfortable with that, right?
Mm,
So I stepped down, and this time around, when I started speaking, um, there was a stillness.
mm,
There was a stillness, right? Despite
yeah,
all of the bullshit, admitting the bullshit and admitting that
yeah,
I have no idea what I'm talking about, because no one has any idea what they're talking about. They
yeah,
just pretend that they know.
yeah.
But even knowing is made up, right? So,
And that stillness, you can't manufacture it.
no, no,
It's
no.
like it's like you, okay, I'm going to have stillness now. That doesn't work.
Yeah,
It's like somehow the stillness has to find you. I don't know. That's
yeah,
not
yeah,
really right either, but
yeah,
you know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah. It's almost like it's the stillness is always here. You just have to get out of the way. That's what
Mm,
it is.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And it's always been there.
It's
I just
always
went
here.
I
Yeah,
just went running around the world looking for it someplace.
yeah. 500,000 later, dollars later. Someone was actually telling me, he goes, Emerson, I could have bought 3 houses. I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, I could have bought 3 houses, right? Because he said he's really stingy with his money, but he was never stingy with going to retreats. So
Yeah,
he's counted all the money. So I'm like, how much is that? He goes, well, I have spent this. Someone, you should talk to this guy.
yeah,
He goes, I spent over $1 million in seeking.
yeah. Oh.
Yeah. In a 30-year
I
span. Yeah. And I'm like, what?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And all the therapy groups I've been to, oh my God.
Yeah.
Trying to fix what's not broken.
Yeah.
How insane is that?
Yeah. Yeah. But you know what? Here you are. I also went through that, right? Because I was, I'm like, at one point, I'm like, maybe I need to do shadow work. So I went to shadow work, you
Mhm.
know, emotion or whatever, you know what I'm saying? I went
Yeah.
through trauma this. I was like EFTing, you know what I'm saying? Kind of like, like tapping and everything. Um, I was shaking my body. I was going to somatic thing. I was going to dances. I was like anything, everything, you know what I'm saying? To find this stillness,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
And oh man, you know what I'm saying? It's like it's just it's quite funny
Yeah.
now,
It
right?
is.
But before I was so serious, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I was so serious. It was like I was neurotic. And yet here
Mm.
but I was teaching peace, but I was in complete chaos, right?
Oh my God.
I was teaching trauma, I was teaching kind of like shadow work and all that kind of stuff like that when I
Yeah.
was dealing with my own shadows. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah.
just like,
Exactly.
yeah, I
Yeah.
was like, what the
Well, you
hell?
teach what you have to learn, I guess.
Yeah, something like that.
Something
Well,
like that.
when I could have, but yet there was always something, because I would get stressed out and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to DJ. I'm just going to play some music. That's
Mm.
it. In between the
Yeah.
thoughts, there's always this calmness, right? It's almost
Mm.
like your what do you call that again? Not your secret place, but there's a term for it. Your hidden peace where you
Mm.
go to, right? When you're a little child, right? So
Yeah.
um and that's what it was, right? Here was like in between my thoughts, in between my beliefs, just DJing, getting connected with what is already, right? And yeah, it's driving around, right? Isn't it beautiful? Just driving around.
Mhm.
That's what you usually probably do when you're stressed, right?
Um, yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's the
Yeah.
winter in where you're at? Is it
Pardon, say again?
how is the winter there? It's not that bad, right? Not as
Oh,
bad
it's
as Edmonton.
not winter yet, but our winters in Calgary are beautiful because we get a Chinook, no matter how
The
cold it
Chinook,
gets.
yeah, yeah.
It's not, I lived in Edmonton for 18 years and oh, the winter. I mean, it's 3 hour drive difference, but night and day, the winters are so fierce and so long. Here, it's cold, we get a Chinook, and the sun
Yeah.
comes out.
Oh, yeah, that's
It's
beautiful.
out.
Yeah. And the
Yeah,
mountains are so beautiful too, right?
yeah. I
So,
love Calgary. It's my, and I lived in Vancouver like you
yeah.
I was there for 8 years,
Yeah.
but the rain finally got me.
Okay.
One year, it started raining in October, I swear, and it kept raining till May. It's just
See,
go,
I was
oh,
depressed
I
when I
got
was
wet
there.
feet.
I was depressed when I was there, so it just, blended with my mood, right? So, here I was pretending to be okay, but I was really depressed, for quite a
Yeah.
while. And the rain, just made me,
Mm.
just draw the curtains and
Oh,
not walk around, right? So, yeah,
yeah,
I was anxious too. So, um, but now I can't find those things anymore. I
yeah.
can't find those, and I hated Ontario because of the sharp cold winter, like the
Oh,
minus
be
40.
cold there. Yeah, yeah.
Well, how cold does it get there in Calgary?
Maybe 20,
Oh,
maybe.
that's nothing.
No,
That's
no.
nothing.
I didn't. I've never seen, and I've been here for 52 years. I've never seen 30 or 40 like Edmonton gets ever.
Oh yeah. Well, here it gets there not that often, but it does get to the minus 30,
Mm.
40 sometimes, right?
Yeah,
And it's
yeah, yeah.
and so when I
Mm.
was like I think I was like 18, I'm like, I'm never gonna stay here again in Ontario.
Mm.
So I moved to BC. And in BC, right, it's not that bad, you know what I'm saying? But the rain, it does rain a lot, but I got used to it.
Yeah.
Um, but when I came back here, when my dad asked me to stay and help with my mom, this is after my disastrous, you know, um, cocooning and falling down,
Mm.
fall from grace as a teacher, and and then
Good
becoming
fall.
and then becoming a DJ in a small town, and
Mm.
just becoming a persona non grata, basically, right?
Mm.
And my life was getting better. It was beginning to clear up, because there was a seeing through whatever the veil,
Mm.
whatever. And then when my dad asked me, I was surprised to say, "Yep, sure, no problem." And then when the snow first came here, I'm like, "This is actually really great. It's alive. It's like whoa, right?"
The shock.
But because I've hated it in my thought, right? But without the thoughts, it is what it is.
Mm.
It could be it's not pleasant, you know what I'm saying? But
Mm.
it's alive. I've never felt winter, because I've always avoided it. But when I
Mm.
finally encountered it, so I'm like, okay, this is actually not that
Yeah.
bad. You just have to
No,
wear
it's
lots of
just
layers.
cold and crisp and
Cold and
quite
crisp. Yeah,
lovely.
yeah. It is. Yeah. Yeah. So you stayed in Calgary for all your life, right? For 52 years.
I've been
Most
here
of your life.
52 years, but 18 in Edmonton and
Oh, 18
seven
years and oh wow. Edmonton is
I went to Santa Fe, New Mexico for 7 years,
oh, okay.
and Santa Fe is stunning.
Yeah.
I got engaged. I nearly got married to a triathlon, and then somehow after 7 years, I went, I miss Canada too much. I'm a Canadian girl,
Yeah, yeah.
and I'm going back to Canada.
Yeah. Yeah, there's something
But
about Canada, right?
yeah,
it's just
yeah,
yeah. Yeah.
it's different in the States. It's like I never felt at home there.
Yeah.
But like somehow I got across the border and I fell on my knees and I kissed the ground.
Yeah.
I was so glad to be back. To be back.
Yeah.
I'm home.
Yeah, there's something kinder about Canada too, you know. There's
Yeah,
just something more, kinder. Again,
yeah,
that's just thoughts and everything, but
yeah,
but
yeah,
you feel it. You feel it, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like where you grew up at, right? So, for me, yeah, Canada's home, right? So
yeah.
it's
No matter
beautiful.
what. Were you
Yeah.
born here?
No, I was born in the Philippines.
In the Philippines. No
I moved here when I
way.
was like 15 or 16. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I didn't
Wow.
like it first, Canada. I didn't like it first because it was too cold. And I thought it was where I lived, right? I'm like, this is really boring. because in metropolitan Manila, right, it's bustling
Oh, yeah.
city, right? It's just like
Holy, what a
it's
difference.
it's such a difference, and
Oh,
there's like rows and rows of cords here, right? It's so isolated, not enough people basically. And I moved to Vancouver. I fell in love with Vancouver, of course, but it doesn't matter where I am in Canada. I
yeah.
feel the home. Yeah,
Well, so
yeah.
what did your dad do?
My dad was the chief accountant for the Senate in the Philippines, so it was a big
Oh,
deal there. Yeah, yeah. And my mom
so
was an
did
entrepreneur.
he transfer to Canada
He came
or?
here because of the what do you call it? The what do you call that term again? The brain drain, I guess, of the country, right? So they hired the professionals when he got here. Guess what? He was hired. First, he was hired for Ford Motor Company to install doors in a car, but
Uh-huh.
he's an executive guy.
Oh,
So he's I remember going to his floor. He didn't have an office. He had a whole floor of people that called him boss. He had like a pool table in his office. That's how important he was, right? So he was putting doors and he didn't like it. It was too much, physical work for him. So he
yeah.
ended up gutting chickens,
Huh.
so a lot of
Oh,
because no one would hire him. Like he would hire for all of this
yep.
accounting jobs and CGA jobs, right? Because he didn't have Canadian experience.
Oh,
So it was almost like he felt like he got scammed when he got here, right? So and then here we were in the Philippines. We had maids, we have drivers, right? So
yeah.
yeah, and we went to like
Oh,
the most expensive private schools, and then we came here, and people were making fun of our accents, and we could not speak English that well, right? So I sat down my brother one day. I'm like, okay, everybody, I said, people are making fun of the way that we talk. We have to watch nothing but English shows, right? We can speak to each other. We have to speak in English. So we would watch The Simpsons. Remember The Simpsons? So I learned my English from The Simpsons. Because you know what, grammatically, we could write English, but speaking wise, it was different. If somebody
hmm.
asked me, hey, Emerson, what's up? I'll be like, what is up? What do you mean? What is up?
I do not detect an accent. I'm sure it's a little
Oh,
bit there, but
it's there, but I like it. I like it. I
yeah.
used to try to change it and try to sound as Canadian as I could, right?
And
But
say,
a
eh.
well, what about that? Um,
The Canadian way.
the Canadian, eh? What do you
Hey,
mean, eh? Yeah.
yep.
Some Timbits and some double double. Yeah. Some maple
Yeah.
syrup with your coffee. Yeah.
Too funny.
I have a friend that came from Newfoundland, and he's a Newfie, and he's a professor. He's super, super smart. He passed away, but he used to make fun of accents, and he used to do the Newfie accent really, really well, right?
Oh,
But he's a professor. He was like the youngest professor at the University of Toronto, and we hung out, we partied a lot, right? And so he would make fun of the Newfie accent. So one day we would be just drinking over like a single malt whiskey and trying to talk like Canadian, you know.
uh,
What about the fishing, Bob? How about the maple leaves, eh? But it's great
wow.
to be Canadian. Yeah.
Bless your dad's heart.
Yeah, yeah. He didn't like it, but you know what? His kids all, you know what? We're grateful for him. We would have had a good life
Mm,
there too, to be honest with you.
yeah.
But I think that the life here was more sober in a way that we were not spoiled. We had to
Hmm.
work. We because there we had maids, you know what I'm saying? Um
Oh, what
and
a
we had
difference.
drivers, yeah.
Mm.
We were pampered. Like I didn't even like all of my clothes were ironed, like I would throw a fit if my underwear was not ironed, right? That's how spoiled we were.
Well,
And but this is when you're a little kid, right? You learn. I have good parents. They correct you. And yeah, when we came here, like, our laundry was piling up and we're like, hey mom, when are the maids coming?
so
When
where are you in the family? Oldest, youngest,
I'm the
middle?
eldest. I'm the eldest.
Youngest, you're the baby.
And then my parents told us, "You guys are the maids now." So what I did was, because I had to help pay for the mortgage, um, I worked ever since I was 15. So I had three jobs while going to high
Mm,
school, right? So I worked really, really hard. And my
mm,
money
mm,
just went to the house, right? So and and then I think when I turned 18, I'm like, I'm done with this. I'm gonna go out on my own kind of thing.
mm,
And went to school. So yeah, so hard work, you know what I'm saying?
oh,
Immigrants always do hard work.
hard work is good work. So
It is
Kamala
good work,
Harris
yeah.
says.
Yeah. So it's a lot of hard work, a lot of struggle too, right? Because
Mm,
so when I finally thought I made it as an immigrant, well, you become a citizen and then you get a house and that kind of stuff. And that's when I got to spirituality because I thought I hit the peak of what an immigrant, experience would be, successful and everything. And I was the I was making a lot of money and I would give money to my brothers and my sister and my family. Um, and but that felt really empty. You know how that feels. Like when you get to something, there's
mm,
always something missing.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. There's always something missing because the thoughts always create there's something missing.
Missing. Yep.
That's why you go to the next.
Chase the missing piece.
That's right. Like the puzzle. Now you're looking at how beautiful the puzzles are. You're like, oh, this
Yeah,
is such a pretty puzzle.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. Um, well, darling, I think I'm done.
You're done. Okay,
I think
good.
I'm done.
You're
Yeah.
done. Yeah. I love you very much, Jolene, and I'm gonna come visit you.
Okay.
When I come to I think I'm coming in. It's not 100% sure yet, but I think I'm coming in November. And
Okay, let me know.
or you can come see. We can meet in Vancouver too. You know what I'm saying? It's
Oh,
quite
that,
easy for you to get there, right? So
oh yeah.
yeah. How
Yeah.
far how far of a drive is it from where you are to Vancouver?
14-hour drive,
Oh, that's a long time. Take the plane. It's like an hour.
plane 1 hour. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would be fun because I got a
Yeah.
granddaughter in Victoria.
Oh,
I could visit her also.
perfect. Okay. All right.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
kind
I
of,
I like hanging out
put
with
it out there.
yeah, you know what's great about this is because I don't have followers, but I have a lot of friends.
Yes, I can see
I don't
that.
have any like even the people here in Ontario, right? In Canada, in Ontario here. I've been doing the meetings, like I would do the meetings, like the live meetings. Then afterwards we go eat, and then eventually the meetings went away and we just go eat.
Before I go, I have to tell you, you look 35.
Oh, thank
When
you.
I heard you were 52, I went, no way, that's ridiculous. And you look exactly like my grandson, who used to be a
Oh.
DJ when he was in high school. But you
Oh.
look if I put a picture between the two of you, you just like, you'd go, oh, my twin brother.
Well, you
But
know what?
he's 35.
He's 35. Oh.
Yeah.
Well, you know what?
Yes.
If you don't mind, you're gonna be my grandma because I don't have a grandma.
Okay.
My grandma passed, both
Yeah,
of
I
them
love
passed
being a
away.
grandma.
Eh,
I'm called Bob's.
Bob's?
Bob's. I used to be
Babs.
called Baba.
Yeah.
That's a Ukrainian
A
because I'm
Ukrainian.
Ukrainian background.
Oh.
So
Babs.
I
Okay.
never like grandma. So all
Babs.
the kids called me Baba. But
Baba.
now Chili and I, we
Mm-hmm.
have Bob's.
Babs.
I'm
Okay.
Bob's to my
Like
Chili.
Barbara Streisand. Babs.
Bob's.
I had one in Victoria. Her name was Nina, and she suffered a lot. So she was a long, long time seeker. She helped she was in your age. She recently passed away this year. And but you know what? She died awake, if you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, how
And then she basically
beautiful.
said when she was in her deathbed, she said,
Oh,
"Can you write?" It's in my website. She wrote a poem for me,
oh,
and then she her seeking actually estranged her from her two daughters because she just went nuts. She went from ashram to ashram and went to
oh,
what she was like like the seekers that are there
yep.
yeah. And after meeting me, she reunited with her daughters. So when I would go to Victoria, they would welcome me to their house and bake me a whole bunch of stuff. I didn't know the story, but I didn't know that she had terminal illness for the past 10
Mm.
years. And she didn't tell me about it. And then she probably knew I would tell her. I'm like, don't help me if you have terminal illness, right? And but she was tirelessly answering my emails and organizing the events that I did. The last one that I did, she did because she got out a lot of people from her own community where there was an abusive teacher speaker.
Nice.
Yeah. And she said that her husband said that she has never been this happy in her entire life. So
Wow.
and that
Wow.
and
How
that was my
beautiful.
nona. So I lost my third nona. She's Italian, so her name is what's her full? I can't remember her full name, but
Mm.
Nina. People call her Nina, but I call her Nona. So I'll call you Babs. Okay, Babs. I love
Okay.
you, and we'll
Take
see each
care.
other soon. Okay, bye bye. You're done.
Okay. I'm done,
you said
honey.
you said you're done. Okay, bye.
I'm done.